BiomedRx Optimum Woman is the only woman's high-potency full-spectrum multiple vitamin supplement to contain 56 nutrients, including those most important for today's woman, such as calcium for bone health, iron for healthy red blood cells, beta-carotene, biotin for nail and hair health, gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil, octasanol, grapeseed extract, a potent antioxidant important for maintaining capillary strength, and vegetarian digestive enzymes. Visit www.biomedrxsupplements.com.
Gold label quality BiomedRx CBD oil is made from organic hemp that is locally grown, glyphosate-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, homogenized, third-party tested, and CO2 extracted. Visit www.biomedrxcbd.com.
Hi, this is Devin Lockett, the president of Job Site Route. As the son of a general contractor, I know how difficult it can be to get good food on the job site. And letting your construction workers leave the job site to buy lunch just takes valuable time away from them being on the site. I've developed an app and a program that will bring a steady stream of food trucks to your job sites every month for the low price of only $100 per month per site. That comes up to about $3 per day to have a steady stream of food trucks coming to your job sites all day, every working day. You can also contact the food trucks ahead of time and pre-order your food from the menu on our app. This saves valuable time for your construction workers and for you. It also sends a variety of delicious food served on Southern California food trucks to your job sites all day. When you think about it, it only makes sense to join the Job Site Route Network. Good morning. Thank you for joining. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? Let me make sure everything's coming in good.
My microphone levels up. Yes, microphone is up. You see, I am manifesting, okay? So I'm bringing down the rain shower of money, and that's what we're talking about today. Using your own spiritual power to manifest, using the power of your own consciousness, your own psionic ability, the power of your own spirit, the power of your own soul, if you will, maybe assisted by your friends, such as your pieces of moldavite, or maybe assisted by the use of radionic machinery. That's why I've been away for a while, people. Excuse me, I got a lash in my eye. That's why I've been away for a while. I've been on a hiatus because I've been going down the rabbit hole of psionics and radionics. I am studying very intensely. As you guys know, I am a biomedical engineer of over 30 years. Actually, next year, 2023, is going to mark my 40th year in biomedical engineering. And I am completely shocked that I've spent my life repairing, installing, maintaining, calibrating, and inspecting medical equipment, and fascinated with biomedical technology, as well as being fascinated with all things supernatural and psychic and esoteric, that has taken me this long to learn about radionics. I've spoken about radionics on other videos, psionics and radionics. It is a very big, very deep rabbit hole that once you get on it, I just suggest that you get on it on your own and you start studying and looking at videos about psionics and radionics. This is the manipulation of the energies of the earth and the energies of humanity and all things, all living things and even inanimate objects. All things radiate a certain energy field. Everything that we perceive of as solid matter, everything that exists in existence, is here because of radiation and vibration. And the science of radionics, of psionics and radionics, is the science of measuring the power of your own radiation. Have you ever, for example, had the feeling that someone was staring at you, and then you turned and looked and found out that they were, in fact, staring at you? Or have you ever been able to stare at someone else, or stare at the back of their head and bore a hole into it until, they just can't stand it anymore? There's lots of things that you can do with your own psionic energy. Well, in addition to studying the Hieronymus machine and other radionic devices, as you know, I've made a lot of videos previously about binaural beats. Binaural beats, especially those that were produced by the Monroe Institute, Bob Monroe and the Monroe Institute. More specifically, the binaural beats of the gateway experience. The gateway experience is a cocktail or a series or a group of binaural beats, audio files, that if one practices them, one can achieve higher states of focus and higher states of consciousness. You can practice such things as patterning, which is what we're talking about today. Patterning is basically manifestation. Patterning is when you manifest things to happen into your life, when you create patterns that you want to produce into your life, you want to bring into your life. That's what patterning is. Some call it manifestation. We call it by whatever names. We all have things that we want in this world. We want success, we want money, we want prosperity, we want love. I want you to click on the like and click the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications and the comment and rate and share this video and all of the videos and subscribe to all of my channels. But we all have wants. We all wish we could find that genie in the bottle, that we could just rub the bottle and get our needs met or get our wants met. We all want to have ways that we can project our desires out into the world. Well, I think this is a very good time to get into psionics and radionics, because the atmosphere, the world that we live in, is becoming more and more polluted with signals, 5G signals, 4G signals, radio waves, radar, all kind of crap. Who knows what the hell they're doing in CERN with the Hadron Collider operating at full speed? What is that doing as far as affecting our space-time continuum? You have to have your own tools to fight back. You have to have your own arsenal, your own weapons, right? Build a radionics machine. I'm going to be building radionics machines on behalf of BiomedRx in order to be sold as BiomedRx radionics devices. But in the meantime, I have to continue. As you can see, I'm kind of rough around the edges here. I have to continue doing the dirty work, doing my research, sourcing my parts, and actually building my first prototype. I'm having a little bit of success here with psionics and radionics. Now, what I want to share with you guys, and I think this is a good time for us to transfer over to the scene without music. Okay, transition. There you go. What I wanted to share with you guys are some documents that I have here that pertain to the gateway process, okay? Like this one, for example. All right. This is a document. This is an illustration and a document that was prepared by the CIA, by the Department of Defense Intelligence, when they were assigned, when the military was assigned to examine the viability of the gateway process, of the Monroe Institute gateway process. This document was drawn up in 1983, as you can see, okay, 9 of June 1983. And it's interesting because I went into the military on the 14th of July of the same year. And as you can see as well, it was approved for release in 2003, okay? Now, this document, and I highly recommend you find it and download it yourself, and I also have other videos where I go through this entire document. This document talks about the gateway process. Now, when we talk about vibration, everything that we see, hear, do, everything that's in our plane of existence, our space-time continuum, if you will, consists of vibration. Vibration denotes location, because if something is vibrating, there has to be local motion. There has to be movement back and forth from one location to another. And in the time, the very small, we're talking about 10 to the minus 33 centimeters, in the very, very minute moments of time where the oscillations are in a process of turning around and coming back in the opposite direction, there is what we call the clicked out portion of oscillating energy traversing the intermediate dimensions, Planck's distance. In other words, at Planck's distance, within Planck's distance, or outside of the root mean square, or the portion of oscillating energy pattern in time and space, we have access to alternative dimensions. We have access to all of the other dimensions of the multiverse. We can actually reach in this period of space-time. Anything is possible. And this period of space-time, once you've mastered reaching that level of focus, you are able to pattern things into your life. Now, what do I mean by patterning? Well, let's go to the manual from the Monroe Institute. Now, with this manual, as you can see, okay, we go to the top. This is the Gateway Experience Manual. All right, a gateway to self-exploration. I highly recommend, if you're going to be practicing gateway audio files from the Monroe Institute, that you read this and you understand what you're going to be going through when you reach focus 3, when you reach focus 10, advanced focus 10, discovery 3, okay? And when you get into exploration sleep, out-of-body exercises, these are all different areas. These are all different phases of intensity and focus that you go through in the process of listening to the audio files of the gateway experience. Okay? Free flow methods of exploration, landscaping, explorer. Okay? All right. Wave 2, threshold. In threshold, you will be introduced to and work with focus 12. This is the level of focus. The state of expanded awareness. You will also reinforce and expand your focus 10, mind awake, body asleep skills. Each wave of the gateway experience is based on the waves before it. Threshold builds directly on discovery tools and techniques, as well as on information and the discovery instructions. Therefore, the exercises in threshold are effective only if you have completed discovery. Any use of these exercises without such prior experience is not recommended. Okay, focus 12 is a state of expanded awareness, a high energy state where you can become more conscious of inner resources and guidance. Many techniques discussed as part of discovery may also be applied with specific focus 12 tapes. Let me give you a little warning, a little word of caution. You are going to do a lot of self-discovery, and you are going to unpack a lot of crap that's inside. So if you have any unprocessed anger or unprocessed negative emotions, those are going to come to the surface as well. Be prepared to handle them in your own way so that you can find your own spiritual center and get back to it. As with Focus 10 and Focus 12, you will find that you do not need to know the way to guidance. Choose only to be guided. Not everyone clearly hears voices, sees visions, or feels kinesthetic responses like we hear, see, and feel in ordinary consciousness. You know, a lot of the things that you discover in the gateway, you don't discover at the time you're listening. You discover in your life because you are listening at night or in the morning or at particular times of your day. It's strange that way. Rarely do we perceive non-physical energy in exactly the same way we perceive our physical waking state. Often there is a knowing, a gestalt or telepathic comprehension that we normally translate into verbal language. I call it heuristic. Through trust and patience and continuing to invest energy in the process of self-exploration, you will learn to perceive more clearly. Sometimes this happens slowly, step by step, and sometimes this happens dramatically and suddenly, like water breaking through a dam. A dam what? Trust, introduction to Focus 12, okay? Trust this exercise and let it happen. Enjoy whatever comes to you. Effort is often counterproductive, and analyzing the 12 state is only appropriate after the experience and not during it. Getting there is a misnomer. If you allow the experience to unfold rather than work for it, the audio signals take you into Focus 12 as you count from 10 to 12. Remain open and receptive to change, and as your commitment to self-discovery deepens, your 12 state will cleepen, okay, and you will explore in many new ways. Encoding to Focus 12, threshold, problem solving. Take a problem or question into Focus 12, and this is what I'm working on already. Place it at the center of your consciousness, which may be, for example, maybe in your heart, abdomen, or head, and push it out or let it flow onto your total awareness. Then release it. The best answer or solution will come back to you in its own way and its own time. Frequently, this will happen during your tape experience. Equally valid, however, is an answer or solution that may come at some later time in another place. To seek solutions in this high energy state is the essence of this exercise. Receiving will come to those who have asked. Your desire to know, the clarity of your question, and the intensity of your asking are keys to what you receive and the way you receive it. Gratitude amplifies the process. Look at the focus on positivity here. Conventional relationships between questions and answers, problems and solutions tend to dissolve as new Focus 12 perspectives change the very nature of the original question or problem. Okay, I don't want to read this whole thing to you guys. You guys can see it here. But what I'm really trying to get down to, this is problem solving, which is very good, okay, during discovery and Focus 12. Now, encoding, problem solving, threshold 3, 1 month patterning. Now, this gets us to what we're talking about when we talk about radionics and psionics. Psionics is your energy. If you talk about the particle versus wave experiment, for example, meaning if you observe photons going through two slits, they are going to go through one or the other, either one or the other. And the pattern that you're going to see at the end are going to be pattern of photonic splashes that are in the shape of the cookie cutter shape, as they call it, the cucaloris shape of the slots that they went through. If you don't observe this experiment, the end result is going to appear to be a wave pattern. In other words, human consciousness or human observation has an energy in itself that affects the action and the motion of reality. Okay? Our perception of reality is a component of reality and determines how reality behaves, whether we're paying attention to it or not. This is a very interesting thing because it sheds light on the fact that the scientific world just found the human soul, just found evidence of the existence of the human soul, and therefore evidence of the existence of God. Now, I think it's kind of interesting that when we were children, when I was a child at least, it was understood that most scientists were atheists. But now they understood that it is impossible to maintain a scientific frame without acknowledging the power of spirit. This also sheds light on the power of prayer, because prayer is directed intention. Okay? So all of this is real, and this is the threshold through which by measuring scalar energies and amplifying them, by measuring these subtle, the most subtle of energies, Focus, provided with the audio files of the Monroe Institute Gateway Experience, and this strengthens your ability. This is what I'm here to tell you, because nobody's going to combine these therapies together, going to combine these technologies together, other than yours truly here at BiomedRx, and regurgitate back to you what the consequences of combining these energies actually is. Okay, so threshold number 3, 1 month patterning. This exercise introduces you to a powerful tool for taking charge of your life, and this is what I'm trying to help you to do. You may have already encountered techniques similar to this. We call it patterning. This exercise works from the basic assumption that thoughts manifest as things, and that which we think we become. Accordingly, it's not a matter of whether we pattern, but of how intensely and deliberately we choose what we think. As we deliberately make these choices in high energy states, our patterns emerge around us, reshaping our lives with speed and intensity unavailable in ordinary consciousness. To learn more about this important tool, at least consider that the patterning process is a possibility. To create a pattern, think, feel, or imagine that which you desire to become a part of your life. Patterning. One moment, please. One moment, please. Yes. To create a pattern, think, feel, or imagine that which you desire to become a part of your life. This is like putting things onto the witness well of your psionic machine or your radionic machine. Patterning functions like problem solving. Place the pattern at the center of your consciousness and push it out, or let it flow strongly and surely out in all directions and in all ways. Then release it. Releasing your pattern is very important. Doing so will assist the emergence of the pattern in your life. Release it. One way to determine if you have released your pattern is if you have a sense of ease and detachment regarding it. In other words, give it to God and let it go. You can use the patterning process to create or enhance many areas of your life: your physical self, your mental self, your emotional self, and your total self. Where you want to be, what you want to be doing, and what you want to accomplish. There is nothing inherently wrong with asking for material things. It does require a change in concept if you're from the school of economic thought that says this is a world of scarce resources. If you're coming from a scarcity frame, it's going to be hard to bring abundance into your life. If so, please consider a concept that's very different. That this is a universe of unlimited abundance, and there is nothing wrong with asking for a share of that abundance. Here are some key points that will help you make the most of patterning. Pattern only in the present tense. For example, I am now receiving money, success, the attention of beautiful women, if that is, for example, your pattern. If you pattern in the future tense, it can be like a sign in a supermarket window that says free soda tomorrow, and tomorrow that never comes. Right, exactly. Use I in your patterning statements and perceive yourself as an active part of the pattern, so it doesn't wind up happening all around you and not to you. Pattern only for yourself. This is very important, especially when it comes to radionics, okay? Because when you start making energetic attachments between you and someone who you are trying to project radionic energy for, even a person who you're trying to heal, you can actually draw some of their negative energy back to yourself. Be clear about what you want. Do you want a new house or to be happy where you live? Do you want to lose 10 pounds or do you feel to feel better about yourself? Be specific. The more detail you put into your pattern, the more likely you are to get what you're asking for. Be sure to ask for what you really want, because you'll likely get exactly what you ask for. Put some feeling and conviction into it. Strong emotion will vitalize and reinforce your intention. Then let it go. Any pattern set in Focus 12 can be changed, reinforced, or canceled in Focus 12. However, don't keep checking on it or changing it because of doubts, fear, etc. A fisherman has to leave his bait in the water for a while to get a bite. Just as when you plant a seed, you don't keep digging it up to see how it's growing. For starters, it might be a good idea to pattern smaller, reasonable requests. For example, if you pattern the first time for $10 million, at least part of you is likely to doubt that it will really work. If you start by patterning for $50 to $100 and prove to yourself it works, then other, perhaps bigger patterns are going to come more easily. Don't specify how your request will be fulfilled. Let the universe or your total self decide and direct that. It is always a good idea to qualify your pattern, asking that it work only for the good of your total self. This exercise is designed for a 1-month patterning cycle. Okay. However, if you can override that time, requesting that patterns be fulfilled in other cycles, a week, a year, by your next birthday, or you can simply release the pattern to be fulfilled in its own time. Please look at this exercise as an introduction to patterning, then carefully consider how you would like to use the process, strengthening it with the components of this exercise. This process of patterning may turn some of your deepest assumptions into questions, which is also a gateway to freedom. Now, before we get into color breathing, actually, I don't intend on going into color breathing. I only want to talk about patterning, because patterning, without the use of any type of technological assistance like a radionics device, is something that you can accomplish simply by faithfully doing the gateway process, okay? Of course, using a radionics device or a psionics device, or even, and here's one of them, I'm sure giving you guys some illustrations, like this wishing machine, okay? Using the many types of radionic devices that are out there. And I'm not going to vouch for any manufacturer or not until I actually manufacture my own BiomedRx device, and then I will share the best radionics device that I could think of or that I could produce for you as the BiomedRx radionics device, okay? But just imagine, because this is something that I'm practicing right now, imagine combining the Hieronymus machine, and here's an illustration of the symbolic Hieronymus machine. Now, some people believe, there is a school of thought that says all you have to do is have a printout of this illustration that I'm showing you right here. This is a symbolic Hieronymus machine, okay? All you have to do is print this Hieronymus machine diagram out, and it would work, I guess, sort of like a Ouija board, in that it is just this symbolic Hieronymus machine is a channel by which you can practice radionics. You can practice radionics kind of like using a Ouija board, I imagine. You can practice radionics using this symbolic Hieronymus machine, right? You put your desires and everything. Now, I'm telling you guys, you should go to other videos to find out exactly how radionics works. It is a rabbit hole. It's going to take you on a long journey of watching videos, but I highly recommend that you watch this, because I'm going to be studying and exploring this more and more in the future, and hopefully doing what you see behind me, bringing rain showers of simoleons of U.S. currency down upon myself. Now, as you can see here, you have the witness well, where you place your witness, the things that you are studying, the things that you are trying to get the energy from or get the calibration from. You take, I use these little cards, right? Like, well, the green ones are kind of hard to show. These little cue cards, these little colored cue cards, and create a pointer. And then, I have mine stuck on my refrigerator with magnets. So I have a magnet right in the center of the rate dial, and that holds the pointer in. And then the sensor pad is on the right-hand side, as you can see. So like anything, you just rub your finger on it while turning the dial, the rate dial, whilst having the desires that you want, the things you want to happen, representations of those, be they pictures or whatever it is, in the witness well. And then when you feel the stickiness on your finger, when your finger starts to stick, as always, you stop turning the rate dial and you leave it there. Then you take the photograph of yourself from the witness well with all of your intentions, and then you move your photograph of yourself to the sensor pad. So now you're telling your symbolic Hieronymus machine to move all of your desires from the witness well over to the sensor pad, okay? And you leave your machine alone. Whenever you're working with radionics devices, when you set it for an intention, you leave it alone until your intention is fulfilled. And I'm not going to disclose to you guys what it is that my intentions are. I think if you know me, then you already know what my intentions are. And I will keep you posted as they are fulfilled. Actually, to be honest with you, with the present experiment that I'm on, some really eerie coincidences and serendipitous events have occurred of late in my life. And I wouldn't share that with you if it were not absolutely true. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I am going to be practicing this even more. As you know, I am still practicing the gateway, listening to the gateway audio files. Let's transition back to my office. Yes. Anyway, thank you. Like I said, I'm still practicing the gateway. If you're following along, I highly recommend that you also practice the gateway. Keep taking monatomic gold and colloidal silver, DMSO, zinc, iodine, and magnesium, as I always talk about. Take care of your health. As you take care of your physical health, you are strengthening your aura. As you strengthen your physical body, you are strengthening your soul. Stay away from drugs, stay away from alcohol, stay away from toxins, and stay away from things that alter your mind, like caffeine. Because what you're doing is you're getting yourself to a state of purity so that you can master these higher states of human consciousness, and you can actually overcome the boundaries of space-time. So I want you to give yourself the very, 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 very best chance at manifesting your dreams, at creating the life that you want, at bringing things that you want into your life. It's okay to want money. It's okay to want love. It's okay to want sex. It's okay to want all of these things, all right? And I want you to be able to pattern, first, with self-efficacy, understanding that you can, and also through self-worth, understanding that you deserve the best life that you can give yourself. Okay? So I want to give you the best chance at doing that. And from what I'm discovering, and I have to call it a discovery because I don't think that the Monroe Institute is really into radionics and psionics, and I don't think that Dr. Hieronymus was really into binaural beats. But it has been my experience so far that the practice of the gateway files, of binaural beat files through the Monroe Institute, especially when you get up to focus 12, when you get to the point where you're already simply on your mind's ability to focus, able to pattern things into your life, combining it with the technology of first the symbolic Hieronymus machine and then the true electronic Hieronymus machine that I do intend to manufacture, then you should be well on your way to building the life that you deserve. I have already done a considerable amount of improvement to my own physical health, okay, using my mind and using sound and using intention, right? Using intention, believe it or not. Okay, so I want to give a shout out to my mom. Thank you, Mom. I love you. And I want to thank you for raising me in a church. Raising me in a church and sending me to Catholic school gave me the understanding of not only my relationship with God, but my own spirituality, to the point that I can talk about these things today and not lose my focus and not lose my obedience to the Almighty. So I just want to thank you, Mom. I love you. So everybody else, I want you to stay kind, because as you know, kind is not only the new sexy, kind is the only sexy. And shout out to my new friend Leilani. Hopefully you're watching. I'm giving you a shout out. You know I'm going to do that. And I want everyone to stay kind. I want everyone to stay blessed, and I want everyone to stay healthy. Until the next video, peace.
label quality BiomedRx CBD oil is made from organic hemp that is locally grown, glyphosate-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, homogenized, third-party tested, and CO2 extracted. Visit www.biomedrxcbd.com.
BiomedRx Optimum Woman is the only woman's high-potency full-spectrum multiple vitamin supplement to contain 56 nutrients, including those most important for today's woman, such as calcium for bone health, iron for healthy red blood cells, beta-carotene, biotin for nail and hair health, gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil, octasanol, grapeseed extract, a potent antioxidant important for maintaining capillary strength, and vegetarian digestive enzymes. Visit www.biomedrxsupplements.com